Good, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Hossein. Now, to benefit those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And I also need to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled. What that means is that if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. And I see here we have a guest here, and his name is, I think it's Suave Criminal. Good evening. Hola. Bienvenido a la canal. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. Um, I also want to give a huge shout out. Okay, first of all, I want to give a shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether it be from the beginning or just recently. Thank you very much. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, um, tonight's topic is open discussion. Now, what does that mean? That means we can talk about virtually anything um, as long as it could be said in good taste. Okay. Now, those of you who follow me know that I don't place a lot of rules when it comes to my panel. All I ask is that we all show mutual respect for each other and allow each other to express their point of view as they see fit. And if there's anyone that disagree with me or anyone on the panel, that's perfectly fine. Let us discuss this as adults and not as children. So that being said, I just came across something that happened recently in Montana. So we're gonna have another edition of In My Words. Hello? Okay. Uh, it was announced that starting next year, the good citizens are allowed to use TikTok. And the reason behind that is because is suspected that it's owned by the Chinese government and it's under their influence. So it's an attempt to try to prevent the Chinese from spying on the good people of Montana. And the crazy part is this: as of 2024, anyone that is found with the TikTok app will be fined $10,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that to be very excessive. And those of you who have followed me from the beginning The very first live calling show I did had to do with censorship. And both myself and Denise Gonzalez of Button Explaining shared information regarding the various laws that have been created to try to of free speech. Now, I'll grant you this. There are times where you have to pay close attention to free speech, primarily when the country is in war. Okay, because you do have to be mindful that whatever you say can render aid to the enemy. But the last time I checked, the United States is not at war. So the fact that people are going to be fined $10,000 for an app, I find that to be very excessive. I'm going to see if I can share. I tried to share the other day, and unfortunately, I didn't get the cooperation that I needed from StreamYard. Let's see if I have better luck today. Okay. That sometimes it takes a while um, to download. If it doesn't download, okay. I apologize. Okay. Now I came across an article um, was in CNN Business, and as you can see, it's taking some time to download the article. And I am not trying to do a 9 or 10 hour stream. So what I'll just do is, well, okay. And here, oops, here, TikTok creators sue Montana over and a group of TikTok users have sued Montana's new statewide ban, blocking the app, alleging that the new law signed this week by Governor Greg Gianforte violates the First Amendment. The complaint filed Wednesday evening in the U.S. for the District of Maryland after the governor's signature compares TikTok to other media, claiming that the state lacks the authority to keep Montanans from accessing and creating lawful speech. Montana can no more ban its residents from viewing or posting to TikTok Street Journal because of who owns it or the idea it publishes, says the complaint filed by 5 TikTok creators, including small business rancher and a former Marine sergeant. Also, marks were made of challenge to a controversial ban that goes far beyond the restrictions Montana and others have enacted to prohibit TikTok on official government devices. The new ban attempts to prohibit TikTok from operating in the state and to block downloads of TikTok on personal devices, but it would not penalize individuals with TikTok. That ban is currently set to take effect in January. A spokesman for Gianforte did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Emily Fowler, a spokesman for Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen, said in a statement that we respect our legal challenge and we are fully prepared to defend the law. In addition to the First Amendment claims, the lawsuit argues that the ban deprives TikTok users of many other rights without due process in violation of the 14th Amendment. It also alleges the ban unconstitutionally conflicts with federal authority to set foreign policy and to oversee interstate commerce, and it claims ban undercuts the federal government's powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Okay. And let's see. Looks like just give me a moment. Okay, so we're gonna pause. I give you. Okay. Hello. Okay, hello. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Now I'm going to give you when it comes to this ban. I mean, I'm sorry, it is a big stretch. First of all, that's I believe there's issues when it comes to freedom of speech. I believe there's issue when it comes to states enacting authority that reserved to the federal government. So, so what's going to be next? Facebook, okay. And I see here we have a guest. So, let me just let everyone know that the views of those who appear are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host of the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to the image. Some of the views that people might hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. Okay. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. I'm just coming up for a little bit. So how's everything with you, Don Jose?
Okay, fine. I was just sharing regarding the ban regarding TikTok by the state of Montana, and then so there was an article that I just posted on CNN Business stating that there some people are going to try to have the ban
All right, but
overturned, and I okay. Let me just and I see there's Gigi in the chat. Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. Go ahead, Don
shout
Armando.
out to Gigi. I mean, if you really look at it, the ban on TikTok is like what I guess during the tenure of Donald Trump, it was revealed that TikTok was made by the Chinese. The people who are actually fighting, who are saying that it's censorship, are the people who are actually making money from TikTok. But if you really, do you really want a foreign authoritarian government knowing what you're doing? So at the end of the day,
Okay.
it's
Mhm.
um it's a question of national security, which is really in question.
Okay.
So is it
Okay.
really censorship?
The problem with
Yeah.
that, okay, the problem with that is that the same thing could easily be said for Twitter, It can easily be set for Facebook. It could be easily be set for Snapchat. It could be easily be set for Instagram. Okay. In fact, this is okay. This is
Yeah, but
okay.
yeah,
So I'm going.
yeah, but the thing is though, it, it's American owned.
Mhm. Okay. So let me pose this question to you. Let's say someone in the Dominican Republic creates a an app saying something in the light of a Twitter or a TikTok or Instagram, and and then there may be some um, content that may push the envelope. Should we apply the same principle to that platform as well as to TikTok?
No, it's like okay, if you actually look at it, right? The reason why it's so much of a ban on TikTok is because of one thing: it's capitalism owned by it's capitalism by communism again. So if you really look at it, the state of affairs and China's not really having a good look. So therefore, it's been revealed that China actually spies on other people and they use applications to actually do so. Then on top of it, you have certain people who are actually against China who are being targeted by these apps. So therefore, if a Dominican person was to actually make an app and they might push the envelope, the goal is not going to hold weight as what China is actually doing. So that's why I guess it's some matter of national security when it comes to the U.S. and such.
Okay, well, you know what? What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do some um, research on it. But I think to a lot of people, okay, um, it does smack up censorship. And actually, the first live call-in show I ever did was on censorship. And actually, what we discussed, which was certain legislation that was crafted, some of them going back to World War One to try to limit freedom of expression because of the fact that the country was at war. Now, there are times where you do have to legitimately reduce excess when the
Mhm.
country's at war.
Exactly. And now since we have problems, even though like I guess it's like you have like some American ownership to it, but now since with the Huawei incident and so there's a lot, and I guess that ban is still going on. It's it's very apparent that when it comes to like the social media from China, they do not actually have a good rep. But if it was like a social app like maybe from Europe or anything like that, it will not be the same rep because they just only about business. But when it comes to China and how it actually spies on its citizens, and now they have like a social app, which is to the point is that if you don't look good or anything like that, you could even go to prison. It's actually they actually have a whole bunch of apps, and they actually did it in the show thing one day. They'll be like, okay, you have an app, and then they'll be like, okay, you have to be like, okay, if that person likes you or anything like that. It's called social credit. So therefore, if a person does not have social credit within China, they're thing now. They cannot even leave their own country. That's what happened to a fighter that actually beat a UFC fighter, not UFC. I mean, an MMA fighter in China that actually beat all these other martial arts masters. He went up and have his social credit low to the point that he cannot even make moves, or and the only way that he can ask money is just to exist, or just put a face mask on that because he's censored him because he beat all these kung fu masters.
Hmm.
So if you really look at it, if that social credit score is gonna actually come to the world. So I'm just saying. And TikTok is actually a part of it. So that's what I'm saying about that too.
Okay. Now, Gigi has expressed an opinion um, that she doesn't believe that TikTok and other social media is owned by the Chinese. Now, you have stated that TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. So, my question is, and I think it's a fair question, what led you to this conclusion?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Most businesses in China, right? It's
Hmm.
like a person cannot go and privately own their own their own their own business or stuff. It doesn't go that like that. It has to go state owned in China first before anything. So
Hmm.
if like say if a guy by the name of Chang has to open up a business, 9 times out of 10 he has to go through the red tape of the Communist Party to actually own a business. So by the time it's actually successful and stuff, most of the Chinese party and such is gonna be how should I say owned by is gonna be controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. That's why if you actually look at Alibaba, and everything like that, whenever they're silenced or whatever the case may be, the Chinese government tell them like, "Oh yeah, you're getting too big for your britches," and that's what it goes on. So
Okay.
that's what happened uh, to a millionaire by the name of I forgot what his name is, but he's actually in trouble in U.S. for defrauding people. But the thing is, though, even though he defrauded the Chinese government and such, and he's hiding out here in the United States, he anybody who's a millionaire or has a business in China, I mean, I'm talking about a Chinese citizen. 9 times out of 10, they do not own their own business, and they actually they're actually all businesses in China is state owned. So I'm about to leave, but it was nice talking to
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. And I want to encourage
Yeah,
everybody, if they've not done so, please subscribe to
anytime.
Donna Mango's channel, and also subscribe to Gigi's platforms. She has multiple platforms. She also does a podcast with Multi called T with Multi and me, and Gigi also has club membership for $5 a month. Um, you will be getting access to some um, private content, also other benefits. So actually, I became a club member myself. So I would encourage you to do the same. Okay. Like I said, what I'm going to do, in fact, I'll probably do a stream regarding whether or not TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. It'll just be something to discuss. It does that. It does smack up censorship, and if if you censor one form of social media, what's to stop the government from doing it two, three, or four, what have you? Um, I know for a fact that one YouTube creator has created a lot of controversy because of the content which was published on TikTok and allegations where it violated the community standards and things of that nature. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss multiple topics. Okay. One topic I'm going to talk about, which I'm going to be called guilt by association. Now, what I have noticed that there's certain individuals, for whatever reason, they'll have beefs with certain YouTube creators. And what they will do is not only they will focus their attack on creators where they have beefs and issue with, they will also try to bother those other creators that are friendly to those to the content creators that have issues. And this, unfortunately, okay, thank you, Gigi. Unfortunately, this is not something new. In fact, I remember a year and a half ago, there was an issue between Fighter Complex 7 and Denise, and Melanie 89, and Brotep. And so he got, a smoke a stream, and then all of a sudden, my name get included in all this, and it's like, what the hell did I do? Okay, but but the issue is simply because I'm friends with these people. Okay, and I actually went on Friday's stream platform and I asked them directly, "Do you have an issue with me?" And the controversy all stemmed from the fact when it was allegedly said um, that someone should fear me. First of all, I prefer for to be liked or at least respected. I am not some bully to be feared or what have you. So he said, no, 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 I don't have an issue with you. It's just I have an issue with the people you hang out with, but I don't have an issue with you. And unfortunately, history tends to repeat itself with other YouTube creators. In fact, so much to the extent that I was thrown off someone else's Discord not once, but twice. Why? Because I am in good standing with certain YouTube creators. Now, for the mentally and intellectually challenged, I'm going to say it slowly. If anyone is cool with me, I am cool with them. Okay, let me repeat it slowly. Anyone, and I mean anyone, if they're cool with me, I'm cool with them. I got my back on my friends. Okay? And if you have an issue with that, all I'm going to say is don't let the door hit you, with the good Lord split you. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Now, moving on to the next topic. Okay. Um, my season tend to operate every 5 or 6 months, and season 5 on Uncommon Sense will be ending by the end of June. So I will be coming up with a new thing. Why I do these things? Because I like to do things differently. So what I'm going to do on my community tab for next week, I'm going to take a poll. I'm going to take a look. Okay, what should be some things that's a theme, and then we'll see what the uncommon folk have to say on that subject. Okay, which brings me to my next topic. Um, One thing I'm going to strive to do, um, discuss more issues as it pertaining to women. Okay, don't get me wrong. I appreciate all the love and support that I get from my supporters. The fact of the matter is, all my support are men. Okay, I'm sure that there are women that watch my content, but I want to do a little bit of everything. Um, So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually, believe it or not, I'm going to be using more of TikTok and other sources to try to come up, see what's trending as far as items to discuss, because uh, I want to think outside the box. And in fact, I have to give a shout out to Gigi because Gigi actually did made the suggestion, and I believe in giving credit where credit is due. Okay. Um, Another thing that I'm gonna do more frequently is motivational messages. Now, what I do is like what I'm gonna be doing is like on a weekly basis to give like a short message, which I'll be posting on TikTok, um, and also the other sources of social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and see if there's. I'm not familiar with Snapchat, but I think I'm going to take a look at it. Unfortunately, when it comes to technology, I'm not exactly the most tech savvy person in the world, but I do observe and I do take notes. Okay. And one thing which brings me to my next point. I will, as long as God has given me breath to breathe, as long as God has allowed me to operate this platform, I'm going to continue to support all those who support me. Okay. And I'm going to try to find other ways to do so, whether it be like joining Gigi's membership. One thing I have to learn how to do is to share content on my platform. Okay. I'm going to be going on vacation next week, so that's going to be my project. Because, look, people like Gigi, people like Multi, people like Keisha have been very gracious to me in sharing my content. I intend to do the same. And you know what? Thank you. Good evening, Irby. How you doing? You know what, Irby? I suggest that you set the notification to all, so therefore you will be informed whenever I go live. Okay. Um, but one thing I definitely want to do um, in the near future is once I learn how to share other people's content, is to do so because people have been, like I said, Gigi has been very gracious, Multi has been very gracious, Keisha has been very gracious, and while the fact of the matter is, if you go to my page and you go to the section where it says featured channels, you're gonna find those channels which I feature, which I highly recommend, which is Golden Goddess, Multinational Movement, uh, Keisha K. Fed, Latin Explaining, Radical Latino, True Teacher, Growth Tab, intro. Okay, and yeah, she says she's visiting. I think she said she was going to come up soon, but one thing that's been a trademark uh, for me um, is that we should do our best to help each other as much as we can. That's why in virtually every stream that I do, whenever any of the other YouTube creators come on the panel or on the chat, I would encourage my audience, if they have not done so, to support their channels because, hey, they support me. I should support, I believe in supporting them. And all the people that I deal with, that hang with me, they're all great content creators. Let's see if I can bring in, just give me a moment. Good evening.
Hey, Jose.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just chilling here.
Me too. Enjoying my day off. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Irby. So I didn't hear the last few minutes of what you were talking about. What were you talking about?
No, I was just talk certain things like one of the like certain things I want to do with my channel, and also
Mhm.
trying to find other ways to show my support for the other YouTube creators who supported me. One of the things I plan to learn is how to learn how to share other people's content because you have been very gracious about sharing my content. Also, Multi has been very gracious, and Keisha also want to do the same thing.
Oh, no problem. Of course. You just hit the share button, the little arrow, and it'll go straight to make a post, like from your
Okay.
phone.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. It's just that you know me, Gigi. I'm not exactly the most tech savvy person in the world.
It's okay. Yeah, I was just letting you know.
But
You just, yeah, it takes you right there to your community wall when you hit the little arrow button that says share. Let me
okay.
see. But
But you
yeah,
know
I
what?
mean, I try to support everybody and, and it just helps everybody in the long run. You know what I mean?
I understand that. And you know what? And I know one of the issues that you have had is that other people are not reciprocal with you. Am I correct?
No, no, I never really had a problem with that too much or whatever. I don't share people to like expect for them to share me in return. But it had came up in just like I don't know, an argument or something as a petty point or whatever, but no, I don't really care about that crap. You know what I mean? I mean, I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but like, no, I don't share people and then expect like, oh, that means they have to share me. You know what I mean? But when you do share me, I definitely totally appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Well, look, the fact of the matter is this. We're not large creators. I mean, you're bigger than
Yeah.
me, but you're bigger than me. But then again, you've been doing this longer than I have, so obviously you're going to be bigger. So
Hmm.
I look at it this way: we need to help each other as much as we can.
Hmm. I mean that's how it goes when you come up through the ranks in YouTube or whatever. Like you'll that's why you see like the bigger YouTubers and they kind of only want to mess around with people they know around because these are the people that they came into YouTube around the same time frame. You see what I'm saying? Um, so a lot of them don't want to mess with smaller content creators because of course all the backstabbing and you try to help people, they backstab you. So they just kind of like hang out with the people that kind of came up in YouTube when they came up in YouTube or people that are bigger than them. So it is important for smaller YouTube creators to all support each other because we all we got.
That is so true. And you know, one thing I find it wonderful that you and Multi work well together. It's like you know each other's thoughts and whatnot.
Yeah, that's why it's weird when we have like falling outs because I feel like it's really not that difficult to get along with me. I'm pretty like friendly, you know what I mean? Just as long as you just don't disrespect me, we're cool. And me and Multi just we never disrespected each other. We never had like any issues. I mean, we're not like perfect people. We've had things that we've disagreed on, but as long as you have like respect, then there shouldn't be any problems. That's where the problems come in when there's like a lack of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And
Hmm.
actually, I just want it. You know what? I'm just going to share a little bit of tea. Um,
Okay.
okay, I actually saw um, our friend from Canada critique of his former best friend.
That's some tea. We got to do a podcast on that.
I mean, you know
I
what?
haven't
Look,
brought any life to it. I haven't shared it or nothing, but I'm definitely watching in the bushes just like you.
you know what? Okay, I know I shouldn't laugh at someone's misfortune. Okay, but when you get to the point when you alienated your lieutenant, that's a major problem there.
I mean, I think that they're both losers. I mean, Mulatto too. He kind of got big for his bridges, and he thinks he's big time now. But his whole channel is like fraudulent and fake subs and all of that crap. But at the end of the day, this is YouTube, and that doesn't necessarily. It actually pushes you in the algorithm apparently because you see it definitely worked for Angry Biracial. Okay, so I think Mulatto Vanguard is taking a page in Angry Biracial's book.
Yeah,
But I think Vanguard's been wanting to get rid of hybrid because you can't work with hybrid because hybrid is paranoid. Number one, he thinks he's not disrespectful because he's just very accusatory and paranoid, and like those type of people are hard to get along with, like if you have somebody constantly accusing you of some shit. So like I knew they were going to fall out eventually, you know what I mean?
but it seems like not only does he lose subscribers, he loses as well.
Huh?
I said
I'm sorry,
not
I didn't
only
hear
does
you.
he lose subscribers, but I said he not only does he have subscribers, he has a neck for losing allies as well.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, he ain't loyal, he's not loyal to nobody, but he thinks that he's like the moral authority, right? He thinks that he's doing everything right, and he's literally done all of these things wrong. He's stooped to very low levels throughout these past couple of months. Stuff that he didn't used to do before. He's always been paranoid and weird and like fight with people, but like he has like sunk into new levels as far as lying and making up stuff and using other people's content that he knows is lies and passing it off as the truth just because he's mad at you. Oh my gosh, Jose, you want to hear some other hypocrisy?
Please share.
Oh my goodness. So now Al has done all of his little shows and his like community posts, and oh my God, Gigi is letting the secta in here and please keep them out, and they're so dangerous and anti-biracial and all this other shit, right? So tell me why I'm over here hanging out in live streams around. I see Al commenting on videos. Al, his damn self, is hanging out in the sector. Okay, Jose? He has never stopped hanging out in the sector, and yet he's out here telling everybody how
Uh,
horrible I am for inviting the sector. Okay? He's the sector that he still hangs out in. So there's your little cup of hypocrisy for the night.
yeah. Well, I love it.
Nothing nothing makes
Banned.
sense out here. It's just a bunch of
I'm not the
nonsense.
only one that disagrees. Has interacted with you. People like Denise Gonzalez, the 18th Leather, the Introvert Boricua. Please. And Al, fun fact, don't even think that you speak for me or for anybody else on my side of the fence.
I mean, I don't take it that serious. I troll him back a little bit just to get a good laugh at it. It's just like delusional, of course, and that's what makes it funny. But at the same time, you just can't make this shit up on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like some people on YouTube create narratives, but for whatever reason in this space, in the adjacent spaces, you don't have to create narratives like they try to say that people are parenting. Like this shit literally just happens naturally because all of these people are insane.
Well, See, that's why I refer to these people as the circus. Okay, because I mean they're a bunch of clowns, and in fact, I have a new name for our friend from Canada, El
Hmm.
Payaso, the clown.
He is a clown. But I don't really see him having big YouTube aspirations or whatever. I feel like he's just here for like the little attention, the ego boost, and chicks, right? Whether to bash him or to try to get him, whichever way. So, but Vanguard actually wants to like do the YouTube thing, so it really wasn't gonna work out for those two. You know what I mean? They're on different
Yeah, well,
paths.
look, I agree. I agree, and if you take, you see, if you just take a look at his description, he's all for the mulattoes, but the last time I checked, uh,
He has beef with all the
Ancho Mulatto.
mulattoes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ancho Mulatto isn't multi mulatto. I mean, okay, and you know what? Okay, that can depending on how it, how it, in what context, can be controversial because some people think it's an offensive term, some people it's not. So it's like, so it all depends.
Jose, these bitches are so fake. They get mad at you. They try to paint the racist narrative. They try to do that shit on me. Now you see hybrids over there trying to call out mulatto hand job for having racist talking points. Like, why are you pretending like you knew that his ass was racist or had racist talking points and you didn't care? But now on Mad Day, because on Mad Day, people see things differently. So apparently, now that it's Mad Day, he's a racist and all that. He's been out here talking crazy, acting crazy, just giving off, anti-black vibes or whatever. It's nothing new. He came to
Yeah.
the space as Hybrid Junior. Do you know when Mulatto Vanguard first came to the space, his name was like Hybrid Ninja?
Oh yes, yeah, yes,
You
yes. I
remember?
was told by. I
Oh,
was
you weren't
told.
there at that time?
No, no, I wasn't. But you know what?
Oh,
This
okay.
is. This is basically. Let me see. What would be a good analogy? It's basically like two overweight old boxing fighters trying to argue who's the better boxer, and both these people are out of shape and they can't fight to save their lives. I mean, really.
Oh gosh. I
And
don't
look,
know.
I don't claim to be the big YouTube creator, okay? But you know what? I do have content, okay? And I have a huge support base.
Mhm.
Okay. I am not losing subs, nor am I losing allies. So, and I hate the flags, but sometimes I got to.
It's kind of like that's why I really wasn't even sure about covering. I was thinking about maybe me and Multi would do like a podcast on it. It's kind of like off here, and it's not like really major promotion for their channels because we don't want to like promote their channels at this point, because they just both went too far with the nonsense and shit. But I don't know. I don't even know if they're worth content really at this point. Like they're not valuable. You know what I mean?
Okay, but you know what? They're valuable in the sense of what not to do.
Yeah,
In that sense, they're valuable.
yeah.
And you know what? And what gets me, and I know I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. He flex about he's such a manly man, he's such an intellectual man, and all that. But fun fact, you don't spell my name with a Y. Okay, number one. Number
Well, was that
two,
intentional?
if you have a you know what? I
Like,
don't know, and I don't care.
whoa,
I
I
mean,
don't
either
know.
way.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now,
I just didn't know if it
also,
was intentional or not.
now if you have an issue, Now, if you have an issue with any of my content, kindly come to me. Please don't go through a second party or a third party. I mean, that's not very manly of you. No, no. Fun fact. But
So a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on.
yeah, but you know
But I
what?
will say
I
though,
find
like if you look at all my old
right.
streams and stuff, and we had all of these characters in one place, basically, on my show. I mean, these shows were wild and funny and crazy as hell to have, all of these different personalities, but it's just some of them just turned out to be, far too extreme with the craziness.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? But you know what? But you know what's funny with the situation regarding TikTok being banned in Montana? Um, I have a huge problem with that, and my problem is if it may not stop on TikTok, it might go to other social media. Now, my thing is this: I believe everyone should have the freedom of expression to say whatever they believe they want. Okay, thus, as long as you don't malign or hurt a person's character. Okay. And there are times when free speech that has to have to be limited, mainly in war. The last time I checked, we're not at war. And for the state of Montana to ban imposing on what the federal government should do.
I would say we're at war in more ways than one every day, and I would be disingenuous to say that China was not our low key slash high key enemy. So I get that, but they were trying to squash that when it was first like kind of like popping off. It's kind of late now, and I do also support free speech and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I don't agree with that either. Everybody has the option to go over there and sign in and let the Chinese know all your business. You know what I mean?
And and you know what? And you know what? This is what I say all the time. If you do not like a person's content, you know, go somewhere else.
But I will say it's not the Chinese. I don't want to say that. I want to say the Chinese Communist Party, obviously, because I feel, my heart goes out to the Chinese people that suffer under, the party.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Getting
look,
controversial today. You're
what's
gonna
the
get me in
problem
trouble,
is that
Jose.
well, you know what? Actually, I'm just trying to think outside the box because remember, according to some people, I'm Mr. Rogers. No, but no, but seriously, what I love to do is like when I have these open discussion streams, it's like let's talk about anything and everything as long as we can keep it respectable. Okay, which is why from the get go, I never tried to censor any of us on my platform. You can say the bleep whatever, or as is just be let's be mutually respectful for each other. Okay,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot for me to ban people from my platform, but I don't have a problem with that.
hmm But Jose, I do have to jump down because
Because look,
I gotta charge my phone.
we're
I'm
both
going live on Bossy's channel in an hour.
okay. Okay, well, thank you for
You're
okay. Well,
welcome. Come
thank you
check
very
me
much
out over
for
there. This
stopping
is
by, GJ.
You're welcome, babe. Listen, come check me out over there because it is definitely for people that have, watched me for a long time. We used to be at war, so this is kind of like, interesting to people to be like, "Oh shit, Gigi and Bossy are going to do a stream together." So, let's see how it goes.
Okay, buddy. Okay, well, I'll check it out. I don't know if I can stay for the whole thing because I do have to get up to go to work tomorrow.
I feel
We
you.
will
I
see.
feel you. I feel you. But everybody, yeah, go watch it if you can on Bossy Empress TV in like an hour. But thank you for letting me up, Jose. I appreciate you.
Well, I love you very much. I consider you one of my cyber daughters.
Yes, I love you as well. I'll see you in a little while. Let my phone charge a little bit.
All right, take care. Be safe.
Okay. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye. So, but but the fact of the matter is, I am trying to think outside the box because you have to adapt. Okay, and one of the mistakes that YouTube creators make is the inability to adapt. So you do have to do things that are different. Okay. Um, so as I stated before, every week I'll be doing a motivational message. Um, One thing I am looking to do is to do rebroadcast of previous streams. That's something that I'm going to try to learn how to do. It's not going to be all of them, but basically some of the more popular ones. Um, I'm happy to say that I actually have three streams that have over 300 views. Okay. Now, to put it in perspective, for a channel like myself, 300 views, that's a lot. Okay. Generally for me, if I have a good night or a good couple of days, I'll get a hundred views. So the fact that I have three um, streams that have over 300 views, that's a lot. And the last one that actually did very well was regarding, do biracial people and Latino share common concerns? Of course, I did have a co-host, which unfortunately could not stand the heat and left the building. But you know what? Ugh, that's okay. That's okay. But let me discuss, and I'm going to be very careful in approaching this topic. Um, Saccharise. Okay. Now I know that Don Amano has gotten a lot of grief because he allows Saccharise on his platform. Okay. And there's always concern that there will be tension between me and him because we had that tension in the past. This is my position, and I stated it before, and I'm going to state it again. I don't have a problem being on the same platform with him, and we can interact and we can be respectable. Okay, and I'm going to be nice about it. I mean, Saccharise does love to express himself, and sometimes he tends to go on and on, so to speak. And so what I've learned to do is just basically let him speak, and then when I feel like it's time for me to to say a couple of things, I'll put in a comment in the chat saying, please let me know when I can speak, and I'll just leave it up to the model, up the host to give me the floor, so to speak. I do know that he has appeared on Fighter Complex 7's platform, and there's been some tension between him and Fighter. Uh, I'm not going to take sides with regards to that situation because one thing I have learned when it comes to internal issues, don't get involved. Do not get involved. because it's just going to make it very messy. Okay. Zacharias is an individual. He has the right to express his point of view. Um, Now, as far as how he wished to identify himself, he can identify himself any way he sees fit. Okay. And one friendly advice, Zacharias, if you are comfortable with who you are and who you wish to self identify, does it really matter what other people think? Just something to think about. And again, I'm not trying to cause any controversy. I'm just simply giving friendly advice. Let's see what else I'm going to talk about. Let's see. Well, I am going to be moving to a new direction. Of course, it's still going to be everyday issues, but I'm going to take notice regarding certain trends and see I can no, see if I can uh, you know create some interesting topics. Okay. Um, I know I have topics that have done very well, and I have topics that has not done very well. Okay. You know, it's all good. It's all good because you learn and you adapt, and that's the key. You learn and you adapt. Okay. One thing I do notice that at least in some of the streams that I've done, that while it may not be do well initially, usually there's some traction in the playback. Usually more people will watch in the playback. Um, One example was the stream regarding the Revenge of the Karens. By the time the stream was over, it got like about 25 views, and now it's getting close to 100. So, and most of that is people watching on the playback, which it does speak well. Okay, and I'm not trying to be over messy, but I'm not trying to be boring at the same time. Okay, so let's see. One thing I will be doing more often, I'm going to be conducting weekly polls on the community tab on different topics. So I'm just going to encourage them to, yeah, yeah, we do have a few Karens out here, and you know what? You'll be surprised. You know what's been something that helped me to deal with these characters? Dealing with the characters that I have to deal with at work, not just with certain colleagues, but union reps. Because let me tell you something. You would think that people who are union reps, they would act in a most professional way. Not always the case. I mean, but let's keep it at 100, okay? In every organization, you have good and you have bad. So, that's how it is. Let's see. But I definitely want to do some more broadcasts. What I'll probably do is on my community tab, probably next week. What I'll do is I'll list three or four streams that have gotten over 200 views, and then I'll take a tab and I'll see which one do people want to see again. Just out of curiosity, okay. And of course, we cannot have a discussion without the circus. Uh, and for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with that term, that's my term for the collective people who act irrational, who cannot stand other people's viewpoints, who treat their platforms as echo chambers. Okay. I have seen the circus, and at times the circus has expanded. Okay. Those of you who familiar with me, for the first year, I refer to these individuals as the mentally and intellectually challenged because they are challenged. Okay. You have people that's going to spend hours and hours and hours talking about the same topic nonstop. Yeah, that could be tedious to say the least. I am looking forward to future collaborations. Okay. One thing I've I've never done a collaboration with the introvert Barico. So I would like to take a look and see if we can do something. Um, Perhaps something has to do with issues regarding um, the Latina diaspora. Okay, that's something that I need to develop. Um, so these are things. Actually, when I go on vacation next week, there's a lot of things I'm going to be thinking about. Okay, it's learning how to do rebroadcast, learning how to looking to seek out other YouTube people to collaborate. Um, I was thinking about doing a stream regarding them, dispelling the myths regarding black people, black men. The problem is, for me to do that, I would need an African American male to co-host. I mean, I can do research on my own. I can cite articles, but the problem is, it's not the same thing. Okay, because there's a lot of misconceptions regarding black men. And usually it's the same thing. They're all a bunch of pookies and ray rays and kangs and all that sort of thing. I said this before, and I'll say it again. There's good and bad in every community. Okay? Not everyone can be a saint. Not everyone can be a sinner. Okay? And that's something that we all must bear in mind. Okay, let's see. One thing I'll probably try to do, and I have done so far, try to keep the stream within 1 to 3 hours if I can. Okay. Obviously, if the stream if it gets going and is really active within 3 hours, I'm gonna push it, whatever. But the longest I have gone is 3.5 hours, and the reason why I don't push it any further than that, first of all, people have lives, people have jobs, people have things to do. So I mean, and if I'm gonna do a string like that, that's gonna last 3 or 4 hours, it's gonna have to be done on the weekend when people don't have to work. Okay, so let's see. I think, but I am planning a new direction when it comes to the platform. Um, let's see. I think I cover everything that I plan to cover on my platform. So, before I wrap this up, is there anything that any one of you would like me to discuss? Okay. Or, you know what? You maybe you say, it's enough, it's enough. Jose's talk has been talking for almost 75 minutes. So that's enough. What have you? But I will say this much: I do appreciate all the love and support that all of you has given me. Okay, and I do mean it from the bottom of my heart. Okay, because the fact of the matter is this: there are so many different YouTube creators where you can go and you can support. The fact that week in and week out, uh, you see fit to actually listen to me ramble on and what have you, uh, that means a lot for me. Okay. And oh, I just want to let people know that I will be doing a stream tomorrow night. And the topic is why do women seek divorces? Now, let me just state this disclaimer, and I'm going to repeat it tomorrow night. At times there are legitimate reasons to get a divorce: infidelity, physical abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment. Okay, if your spouse becomes mentally unhinged. Okay, these are reasons, legitimate reasons, um, to get for women to get a divorce. Okay. Now I know there's been a great deal of talk about how women need to do a better job vetting the men. Okay. While I would say that is true, but in all fairness, it takes the husband and the wife to work together to create a healthy marriage. Okay. If a marriage goes to pieces, it's rarely just the wife's fault. It's rarely just the husband's fault. It's usually a combination of the two of them. What is a problem is when people end marriages for frivolous reasons. Okay, like oh, I want something. I want more excitement, or I want something better, or there's no chemistry, or what have you. As a person who was married and unfortunately ended in divorce, I'm gonna be particularly clear. I did not do such a great job vetting my who became my ex-wife. Have I done so? But I don't think I would have married the person I married. But you know what? You learned, and that's the bottom line. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up. First of all, I appreciate Don Armando, Irby, and Gigi on the chat, and I also appreciate Don Armando and Gigi being on the panel. So I'm gonna be live tomorrow night. Um, I know I put it at 9:15, but I think I'm gonna put it to 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna have a discussion. And I'm gonna ask, ladies, if please make your presence felt and express your point of view. Um, Look, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just one YouTube creator um, among hundreds of thousands of YouTube creators out there. I don't claim to be an expert about anything. The only thing I'm an expert in is who I am. Okay. That's who I am. And when everything is said and done, I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. Okay. That's who I'm trying to be. So I'm gonna put this little stream to rest, and I appreciate all the members of the Uncommon Folk. So hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm just gonna say let's be good to each other. Okay. So that being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I wish you all a very wonderful evening and just be the best version of yourselves. Take care and peace.
Be strong.